Hi there, I hope you've had a very nice Christmas. Day after Boxing Day, and we're free to get out fishing again after all the family visiting duties. And as usual, part of the course for this winter, little opportunity to fish on the main rivers because there's just way too much water. Certainly for my kind of trotting for silvers anyway, maybe okay for the barbel fishermen. So I'm trying something very different, and it's going to focus on tiny little streams. This is the outflow of a local small lake, and there's a tiny little river there which, strange as it may seem, I'm going to get some funny looks, but I'm going to give it a go. I have a feeling there's going to be a few roach, if nothing else, in this little river. It's so small that it runs off in a couple of hours, so while the main rivers are still sort of rising and in the peak of flood, this is sort of running off and turning a nice shade of colour, so it's micro stream fishing. And this is the reason why I was on that little tiny stream. You can see what the main river's like, which is usually a small river itself, or stream even, but at the moment that is absolutely tearing through, and just in the corner there is where my little stream comes in. So we're going to try a little bit further upstream and see what's possible. Nothing to lose. Quite a bad day for fishing rivers really, so there we go, there's a footbridge, and I have a feeling it's just possible there might be a chance of a fish. You see where it's dammed up there with all that rubbish. There's a bit of a sort of a deeper slack here, and I have a feeling there might just be something here backed up from the main river. We'll find out. It looks like it's another pool below it as well. Yeah, there is. There's another backup pool below it, so we're just going to give this an hour. The tactics, a lave on float, which may be better actually using a smaller float, but I'll try it. There's quite a good flow on at the moment with this flood water. It looks more like the normal small river at summer level at the moment. You'd seen this place in the summer, it's just a trickle. You just like step over it without considering fishing on it. And I'm going to try double maggot, one white, one red. I flicked a few into the swim just while I was tackling up. I'll put a few more in just under that bridge, just 3 or 4 at a time. Centre pin reel as usual. So let's just drop the float in and see what happens. The hook's a bit bigger than I'd normally use for finesse purposes, but is that a bite straight away then? Oh, look at this. What have we got? It's like a tiny little dace. Straight away. What I'm going to do is just, here we go, tiny, oh no it's not, it's a chublet, it's got red fins here, it's a chublet. Just going to dot that float down a bit more because it's sticking up a bit. Absolutely tiny. What's that? Another little micro dace. In fact, it's the first dace, it's chublet, the first one, I think. It's difficult to distinguish these fish when they're so small. They seem to hang around in mixed shoals, roach, dace and chublets, all little tiny juvenile fish. little bit bigger. Oh, that's giving us a run around, look at that. Hey, what have we got here? It's a chublet, slightly bigger one. Look at that. A bit further down the pool. Something. There we go. And that is another chublet. Tiny little dace this time. Chub roach dace. So, good and bad points about fishing these tiny little streams. I say, starting off with the good points. Number one, they run off more quickly than the bigger rivers when there's a flood going on. You'll find it only takes an hour or two for these rivers to sort of empty and start to clear. Another thing, you've got a bit of confidence. You're covering a small amount of water compared to a bigger river, so you can be quite certain after a few passes with the float that you've put that bait in front of a fish and you're not missing them. Safety, very difficult to drown in a stream that for the most part is less than a foot deep. They don't really get much attention. Anglers generally walk straight past, even me. So a lot of the fish you're going to catch have never been caught. And of course, as a very thrifty Lancastrian, they're all cheap or free to fish. And they've come to difficulties or disadvantages. One thing, for the most part, they're very, very overgrown and pretty well unfishable in high summer. Certainly the ones where I live anyway. And you may have to do a little bit of work in advance, trim things back, brambles and one or two trailing branches to make them fishable. They're very difficult in clear low water, so again spring and summer tends to be out, and you've got to be content to catch small fish. It's not for specimen hunters. Everything in scale, and you've got to be pleased with whatever you can catch. And they're not publicised. You have to do your own homework because, like I say, so few people fish them, and those that do tend to keep the location pretty quiet. So it's a question of doing the legwork and having a good look around and trying a lot of these little streams. A lot of them you'll find you blank on because there's no fish in there, or they're very localised, the distribution of the fish. There we go. Almost a decent roach. Tarn and Joan fishing now, trying this little tiny pool on the most ridiculously small river. But it's the one river that's not flooded out this weekend. You okay? That's it. It might not be as free running as yours. And just hold it back because there's a few snags on that neck there. That's lovely. I thought we'd have had a bite by now. Unless we're making too much noise. That's about the spot, isn't it, you'd expect?
Yeah, I've
Yeah. Well, that's a zone. That's the zone where the bait's going to end up, isn't it? Hey! Straight away. What have we got? A roach? Remember, you don't have to wind it right up to the rod top. Oh, it's a chub, isn't it?
Yeah.
Little tiny chub. Let's have a quick look at him. Oh! Yeah. Lovely little chub.
Excellent
Little
stuff.
junior.
Excellent stuff.
I've just seen a fish rise there too. Bit of a thank you to Joel for accompanying me on, it looks like one session, but it actually isn't. I did take him down one Sunday morning down there. Thanks to Joel, because it made it possible for me to film that footage of the float sort of drifting by and slipping under, which is very difficult to do on your own, really. So, two-man job, well done. Cheers, Joel. Well, it's very difficult to believe. I've never thought of trying this place before. I've walked past it so many times, very close to home. An insignificant trickle of a stream that goes into the small river that I fish. That river is way too high. That's a lot of them today. And that's a change from still waters. I wanted to try a bit of moving water. So this is a superb option. And, certainly be back, and it's one to make a note of for when the main rivers are way too high and in flood. This will give us a superb bit of fishing. Middle of winter, and fish are absolutely biting for fun, even just in sort of 18 inches deep of water. So fantastic. Just worth bearing in mind, these little streams like this are pretty well everywhere in the country. And you don't have to get out of town, really. These streams I fish are all in quite suburban areas, and it really is a very easy option. No club memberships, all on like public land, as long as you're not causing a nuisance or trespassing on sort of fenced off areas or obviously private places. Nobody will bother you. So a very cheap way to fish, and I'm absolutely addicted to it. Small rivers, brooks, streams, love it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that session with me. To me that was really quite illuminating, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, a bit little eccentric, but I do love these tiny little rivers. I'm absolutely fascinated. I think it's a small boy that's in all of us anglers at some level or other, somewhere on the spectrum. If you've enjoyed the content, please subscribe, and to me existing subscribers and regular contributors, thanks very much for your support, and a happy new year. Well, happy new year to everybody, and we'll see you again soon.